So we are calling for all protests in respect of the flag at Belfast City Hall to cease. We're asking people to respect the democratic decision of Belfast City Council. We want to remind people that Belfast is no longer a unionist-dominated city, it's a shared city, and flags and emblems need to reflect that reality. I think it's also worth saying in that context that unlike the Union flag, the Irish tricolour is not accommodated at all within that city. We believe that we need to forge a shared future. We understand and appreciate those of the Unionist tradition and their British identity. Indeed, we're sensitive to that fact, but we're quite clear at this stage that promises made in the Good Friday Agreement in respect to flags and emblems, the decision taken on foot of an equality impact assessment, the fact that Sinn Féin and broad nationalism signed up to the compromise to fly the flag on designated days represents respect for the Unionist tradition. We're asking the organisers of the protest on Saturday outside the Dáil to reconsider their decision. We believe that they're acting in a provocative way, and we would say to them that whether they protest or not, the decision of Belfast City Council stands. And finally, we're saying to Dubliners and to anybody who's in the city on Saturday, should there be a protest outside the Dáil, we're asking people not to engage and certainly not to have any confrontation with whoever may present themselves at the gates of the Dáil.
You said provocative. Some people are saying that if Mr. Frazer has an issue, he should be going to London and not Dublin. What do you say to that?
Well, Dublin is the capital city, and I would be the first to acknowledge anybody's right to peaceful demonstration. But Willie Frazer knows as well as everybody else that the decision taken in respect of the flag in Belfast was not imposed on anyone. It's a democratically arrived at decision. And I think if Mr. Frazer is an advocate of democracy and respects democratic decisions, well, he needs to demonstrate that by word and deed. And the bottom line is this, that the Orange state is gone. The days of unionist domination in Belfast and elsewhere are over. They're not coming back. And we have to ensure that flags and emblems reflect and respect that reality. And I think that's the real challenge for those that stoked up these protests, the leaders within the DUP and the UUP who chose to target the Alliance Party member Naomi Long. I think it's the challenge for the UVF and for others within loyalism to recognise that we are in a new era, that certainly their sense of Britishness must be acknowledged and respected, but that Belfast is not now a unionist-dominated city, it is shared. This is about sharing identity and sharing the city. And I think the decision that the Council arrived at was an honourable compromise.
And on Saturday's protest in Dublin, if it does go ahead, what do you say to some groups, more hardline Republican groups that have gone to these things before?
I'm saying to them, stay away. Stay away and don't be so short-sighted or foolish or destructive that you would get involved in any kind of altercation with protesters if they do come to the Dáil on Saturday. I'd prefer that they call off their protests. We're asking the protests north and south cease, but should people arrive at the Dáil, I think people need to show good common sense and keep away and ensure that Dubliners and Dublin business isn't disrupted and that no further confrontation is seen on our streets.